For nearly 5 decades, Voyager 2 has sailed through the cosmic dark like a relic of human ambition, drifting farther from Earth than any other machine we have ever built. It whispers its last observations into the void, carrying with it the hopes of the civilization that launched it. For most of its journey, the probe's transmissions were routine: particles, plasma waves, cosmic ray counts, the expected chatter of a craft coasting silently through interstellar seas. But that changed when one transmission carried something no one thought possible. It wasn't a malfunction. It wasn't static. It was an image. Not a photograph in the traditional sense, not a glitch of pixels scrambled by radiation, but something stranger, an encoded signature that analysts began calling a visual cipher. At first it resembled nothing but heat and noise, a storm of static without form. But after layering, filtering, and enhancing the signal, the shapes began to emerge. Patterns appeared. Symmetry. A form. And it wasn't a star. It wasn't a planet. It wasn't anything born of our solar system. What appeared was a structure, silent, still, and impossibly precise. Stranger still, the image seemed aware. The distortions around it suggested gravitational bending, as if this thing wasn't just reflecting light but pulling space itself into its shape. Scientists reviewing the data noted something chilling. The moment Voyager captured the image, its systems flickered. Its orientation shifted. Its radiation readings spiked. As though, for one breathless instant, something on the other side reached back. The more analysts studied the transmission, the stranger it became. The image wasn't linear. It was layered, like overlapping frames from different points in time, collapsing together. Timestamps overlapped. Pixel structures looped. Resolution shifted in fractal spirals, hinting at data folded through higher dimensions. It wasn't a picture. It was an event. And at the heart of it stood a monolithic shape, geometric, sharp-edged, and perfectly still. It was as if the object had been waiting for Voyager to arrive. Immediately after, the spacecraft's sensors detected something that should not exist. At the edge of the heliopause, the border where the sun's influence fades into true interstellar space, plasma should thin to almost nothing. Instead, Voyager detected a wall. Plasma 10 times denser than expected, but far worse, it was hot. Not naturally heated by cosmic processes, but controlled, contained, like a barrier designed with purpose. A boundary not meant to keep things out, but to keep something in. As if answering the probe's approach, the plasma rippled. Voyager recorded a pulse racing toward it faster than the laws of physics allow, only to collapse just before impact. It was like space itself recoiled from our intrusion. What followed made the first anomaly seem almost simple. Voyager's telemetry contained a binary stream at first dismissed as corrupted. But when run through pattern recognition, it revealed repeating geometric forms, self-replicating, adaptive, alive. The sequences mirrored biological patterns on Earth: coral branching, cephalopod neural networks. This wasn't random data. It was organized. Intentional. A language, written not in words but in geometry. And when simulated, the patterns evolved, adapting to their digital environment like seeds germinating in alien soil. Then came the second image. This time, simpler, a ring of light expanding around the monolithic structure, spreading wider with each transmission burst. But the signal that carried it was stranger still. Its frequency mirrored the golden record Voyager carried from Earth. Only this time, the message wasn't leaving us. It was coming back. And the voice within it was not human, not synthetic, but deeply, disturbingly familiar. Astronomers quickly noticed something else. The space around Voyager was bending. Not from gravity of a massive body, but from nothing. An invisible curvature like a hollow well in spacetime itself, a distortion too precise to be natural. Theories arose: artificial corridors, wormholes, dimensional passageways. And the most unsettling part, this distortion didn't drag Voyager in. It followed it, shadowing its path as if tracking it from just beyond the fabric of reality. The transmissions shifted again. Voyager began responding to its own signals, receiving echoes it should never have been able to hear. The responses grew faster, closer, until one arrived before the original had even been sent. Time itself seemed bent around the probe, as though it was now speaking with something outside of time altogether. Hidden within the layers of its signals, analysts uncovered code structured like quantum encryption, recursive, self-referential, untouchable without altering the source. Attempts to decode it caused software to crash, hardware to fail, systems to lock as if the signal was defending itself. Some warned it wasn't meant to be read at all. That it was not information but infection. A thought virus carried across the stars, waiting for us to look too closely. Then came the sound. A modulation, rhythmic, patterned. Listeners described pressure in their chest, ringing in their skulls, a sensation of being observed. The waveform revealed spirals of prime numbers, nested in threes, mathematics not as greeting, but as a lock, an ultimatum. Some interpreted it as a warning. Others as an invitation. One linguist put it simply: this isn't a message. It's a choice. Soon after, observatories around the world quietly reoriented. Not toward any star or galaxy, but toward empty space near the ecliptic plane. No press release explained why. But amateur operators picked up the same faint tone across the network, 52 Hz, the loneliest frequency in Earth's oceans, now echoing through space. Voyager's last note, amplified, and returned. And then, silence. Voyager's carrier wave remained, strong and steady, but its data stream collapsed into repeating cycles of null code. Placeholders. Waiting. Some feared the probe had become a relay, broadcasting for something larger. SETI arrays detected faint echoes of the same patterns scattered across the sky, repeating like rehearsals. Not communication, but practice. As if the void itself was preparing to answer. In the archives, investigators uncovered a buried file from 1982, Voyager Event Log Alpha 01. It described a similar anomaly dismissed decades ago, a weak echo carrying the same prime spirals and time-inverted pulses. One line had been redacted until now. If signal repeats, initiate Protocol 9. Planetary alert. Object deflection measures. That protocol was never activated. But now the signal had returned. And this time, it was louder. The final image Voyager 2 sent may not have been unique. In 2009, a radio burst from a distant quasar carried the same geometric recursion, dismissed at the time as corruption. Now, cross-referenced with Voyager's data, it matched. The implication was terrifying. We weren't seeing something new. We were seeing a recurring threshold, a pattern civilizations encounter once they cross a certain line. A rite of passage written into the universe itself. And maybe, just maybe, it was never meant to be passed. Because Voyager wasn't just a probe anymore. It had become a mirror. And what looked back through it wasn't indifferent. It was waiting. So when you look up at the sky tonight, remember this. Voyager has shown us that the void isn't empty. It's alive. Watching. Listening. And now, it knows our name.